हरि ओम्। नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य भाषाप्रवेशस्य प्रथमभागस्य एकादशीकक्षार्थं सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। एकवारं गतकक्षायाः पुनस्मरणं पश्यामः, अनन्तरम् अद्यतनपाठं वयं पठामः। गतकक्षायां क्रियापदानां रूपाणि वयं दृष्टवन्तः. So we have seen the various forms of kriyapadams in Vartamana Kala, and especially the forms of Vishesha kriyapadams like karoti, shaknoti, chinoti and all such forms. And we have also seen how to frame simple sentences with some object cases, like accusative case, like balakaha kim karoti, so balakaha patham pathati. So basically we ask a question with the kim that generally gives the answer, and which will be in the accusative case, and we know how to frame sentences with such forms. So basically we will add makara at the end. If it is pataha, it will be patham, or if it is katha, it will be katham. So like that we will add makara at the end to indicate that it is the object. So in that we have completed the lesson 11 and lesson 12 in the last session. And just a recap here, kim can be asked on any question, any normal statement like balakaha pashyati. So balakaha kim pashyati. So what does the boy see? So it will be devalayaha, so it becomes devalayam. Balakaha devalayam pashyati, or balakaha devam pashyati, balakaha ramam pashyati, balakaha nadim pashyati, balakaha griham pashyati. And similarly, aham kim vadami, what do I say? Aham shlokam vadami, I tell shloka. And aham patham vadami, aham katham vadami, aham padyam vadami. And similarly, balika kim khadati, balika rotikam khadati, balika annam khadati, balika madhuram khadati. And next one is aham kim karomi, what do I do? And aham dhyanam karomi, aham snanam karomi, aham pujam karomi, aham nidram karomi. So these are all very simple forms in the object case, where for any word, shlokaha, pataha, katha or annam or anything, we just need to add makara at the end to indicate that it is an object. And there are a few other forms, special forms for aham or bhavan or bhavati. So bhavan, it would be bhavantam. So balakaha bhavantam pashyati, sees you. And aham, it will be mam. So balakaha mam pashyati, so balaka sees me. And the saha will be tam, and sa will be tam. And similarly eshaha, for eshaha it will be etam, esha it would be etam. And for tvam it will be tvam. So hope it is very easy to remember. Just add makara at the end to indicate an object. And at the same time, there is another thing which we need to remember. We cannot ask kim question for all the sentences. Okay, for example, balakaha kim pashyati, it really makes sense. What does the boy see? But we can ask like, what does the boy write? What does the boy see? What does the boy say? And all that. But we cannot say what does the boy laugh, or what does the boy cry. So there are few such actions we cannot ask kim against it, and we'll not even have any answer for such things. So let us not worry about them. So we will, in our exercise, we will practice only in the places wherever kim is wherever we can actually ask kim, right? So like balakaha kim pashyati, kim khadati, kim likhati, kim phatati. So they all really make sense. But kim roditi or kim hasati or kim patati, and all of them will not really make sense. Okay, so just we have to be aware that when you ask question with kim, we just need to check whether it really makes sense. Alright, so let's move on. Okay, so today I think we will start with a new topic. So I think we have completed till lesson 7, and we jumped to lesson 11 and 12. So probably this is the time we come back and we'll see that lesson 8 again. So Before we go into that lesson 8, I wanted to cover a few other things and that might give some clarity before we touch upon lesson 8. The first thing is, we know that every word, whatever we have used so far in the noun forms, like it may be Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha, Balakaha, or Sita, Site, Sitaha, or Nartaki, Nartakyo, Nartakyaha, it may be any form. But all of these forms are derived from a root word called Pratipadikam, right? If you take a Rama as a word, that is actually a Pratipadikam. From there, all the words are derived, right? Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha, all these three Vachana forms are derived from Pratipadikam called Rama. And similarly, if you take Sita, Sita, Site, Sitaha, all three forms are derived from the Pratipadikam called Sita. And similarly, Nartaki, Nartakyo, Nartakyaha, again the Pratipadikam is Nartaki. And similarly, Vanam, Vane, Vanani, again the Pratipadikam is Vana. So all we need to know is here all the noun forms are actually derived from the noun root that is called as Pratipadikam, and without that none of the words are actually derived. Okay, so if you see, we have seen so far only one set of such words like Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha, or Sita, Site, Sitaha, or Guru, Guru, Guravaha. So all these are actually derived from the Pratipadikam. Okay, and similarly, there are many such words can be formed, or many such forms are actually derived from the Pratipadikam. We'll just have a very glimpse of that now here. And this is very important before we get into that next lesson. Okay, so let's take an example of Rama as a Pratipadikam. Rama as a Pratipadikam, it is Akarantaha Shabdaha, Rama Shabdaha. So from here, the word called Ramaha is formed, and that we generally use it in our sentences like Ramaha Gacchati, Ramaha Patati, Ramaha Asti, Ramaha Nasti, and Ramaha Agacchati. So all of these we use with a word called Ramaha. Okay, and similarly there are few other words we can actually form from Rama, that is Ramam. I think this you might already know that, like when you ask question with the Kim, the answer generally will be an object case, and that we form using Makara at the end, right? For example, Balakaha Kim Pashyati, what does the boy see? You can say boy sees Rama. So Balakaha Ramam Pashyati. So that's the second form. Actually, this form is again derived from the Pratipadikam called Rama. Okay, and similarly, few other forms we have. So basically, each of the forms which we derive from the Pratipadikam called Rama will have its own meaning. So when you say Ramaha, it's just a subject. You can use this form as a subject in any sentence. Ramaha Gacchati, Ramaha Agacchati, Ramaha Patati, or it can be used anywhere like that. And similarly, the Ramam, the form Ramam, can be used in any sentence as object. Right? So like Balakaha Ramam Pashyati, Balakaha Ramam Prachati. So it can be anything. And similarly, there are few other forms that are derived that they indicate their own special meanings actually. So let's see quickly, let's see few of them, but let us not really worry about how they are actually formed, and we don't really have to memorize or anything here, just information for you. Okay, next form is Ramena. It's again a modified form from Rama, and it gives some meaning like by Rama or with Rama. Okay, let's not go in deep detail there. And similarly, the other form is Ramaya. It again gives meaning like to Rama. And again, the another word called Ramat. It gives meaning like from Rama. And another word Ramasya. It again gives meaning of Ramas or of Rama or belonging to Rama. And next one is Rame. It means in or on Rama. That's what it means. Okay, but of course we are going to study really in detail in all of these forms, but this is just a glimpse that the forms are like this, and they each form will have different meanings, and all of these forms are actually derived from Pratipadikam called Rama. So that is what we wanted to understand at this level. So if you see all of these, Ramaha, Ramam, Ramena, Ramaya, Ramat, Ramasya, Rame, all these forms are actually the noun forms, and all of these forms actually are derived from Rama Pratipadikam. Okay, so that's one thing we need to take away from here. And we don't really worry about how these forms are actually formed and how to use them in the sentences. We are not worried about them now. We are going to see them in the subsequent lessons, but for now, all the forms, there are multiple noun forms and there is one single Pratipadikam. From there, all these are actually derived. Okay, so now if you see, there are individual meanings for each of these noun forms, but the forms are actually identified in Sanskrit with some names actually. They are given there are some names for each of these set of forms, and we identify the form based on the name. So basically, we call them as a vibhakti forms, and the names are like this actually. We call them as Prathama Vibhakti. Prathama Vibhakti means it is a Ramaha is a Prathama Vibhakti forms. That means these forms can be used in any sentence as subject. Okay, and similarly the second is Dvitiya Vibhakti. This is again, these forms can be used in any sentence as objects. Okay, that is the way we name all of these individual forms like Prathama, Dvitiya and so on. So let us see the third one. The third one is Tritiya Vibhakti and Chaturthi Vibhakti and Panchami Vibhakti, Shashti Vibhakti, Saptami Vibhakti. So this is how it is named actually in the Sanskrit. So it always goes with Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti and Saptami. So it just simply means first, second, third and fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh. Okay, that's the way it is named. So we don't, the names are not given based on the meaning of the word actually, because any word, if you take Ramayana, Ramaya, Ramath, it really means a lot of things actually. Okay, that's why we don't actually name the Vibhakti based on the meaning of the form. Basically, we name based on the sequence it appears actually, order in which the sequence it appears. Based on that, we name like first, second, third and fourth. And if you take Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, if you take any Vibhakti in that method, that will have some set of forms like Ramath, and it will have multiple meanings for them. Okay, to identify that set of meanings and that set of words, we call them as Panchama Vibhakti. That is the identifier for that. Okay, this is what we need to understand, and this is what we call them as Vibhaktis, and the forms derived from the Pratipadikam, right? Ramaha, Ramam, Ramayana, all these are actually Vibhakti forms. Okay, Vibhakti Rupani or Shabda Rupani or Vibhakti Rupani or Vibhakti forms. Okay, and in short, if you want to know what are they in English, you can actually, this is what we call them in English, like a nominative case and accusative case and instrumental case and dative case and ablative case and genitive case and locative case. Okay, so the case, what we call the grammatical case or the case, that is what we call them as Vibhakti here, and they are actually named as Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti and Saptami. Okay, hope it is clear. And just to give another important thing here is that when you say Ramaha, is just a Ekavachana form actually. Ramam is again Ekavachana form. So all the words given here are in Ekavachana forms, and of course they will have the corresponding Dvivachana and Bahuvachana forms as well. Okay, so when you say Prathama Vibhakti, so all three vachanas of that particular Pratipadikam in the nominative case is called as Prathama Vibhakti. So Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha, all three forms are actually Prathama Vibhakti forms, not just the Ekavachana forms. Okay, all three are called as Prathama Vibhakti forms, and they are all derived from Rama Pratipadikam. And similarly, when you say Dvitiya Vibhakti, again Ramam, we have again two other forms for Dvivachanam and Bahuvachanam, and all three are actually called as Dvitiya Vibhakti, and they are generated from Rama Pratipadikam. But we will see them in the subsequent lessons. So that's why when you ask a Kim question, I always insisted it to use singular. That's because in singular it's a easier form. We just add Makara to get that form. But for a dual and for Dvivachanam and Bahuvachanam, we have a little change in the forms. So better we will use singular at present till we read that Dvitiya Vibhakti in our lessons. In our first slide, in the first session, Bhasha Pravesha level 1, we have covered in a very high level what all things we are going to study in our Bhasha Pravesha level 1, and this is the list actually. So we have seen Vibhakti Pataha, Lakaraha, Pratyayaha, Itara Vishayaha. So these are the 4 sections we have seen, and you might have seen the Vibhakti Pataha where all these Prathama, Ditya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti and Saptami all are there actually. So this is actually, if you see, all these Vibhaktis actually are studied in our Bhasha Pravesha level 1, and as part of current progress, we have completed all the exercises of Prathama Vibhakti. Okay, and we are yet to study other Vibhaktis, and similarly the Lakaras are nothing but the tense or the aware forms, we call them as Lakaras. And we have studied, there are primarily we have 4 Lakaras in our syllabus, but we have studied the first Lakara, Vartamana Kala Lakara, that is called Lat Lakara. But let us not worry why it is named as Lat, Lot and Lang, Rit, but we will see them later. But now you remember that Lat Lakara is the waveforms, and the waveforms derived from some verb root, and Lat Lakara is used for Vartamana Kala. Like if you say Gacchati, Gacchati, Gacchataha, Gacchanti. So all these are actually Lat Lakara forms. That means it's a Vartamana Kala forms. Okay, so again we have completed lesson 11 and lesson 12. I mean 12 is again a simple lesson, but lesson 11 primarily focuses on Vartamana Kala. We have completed that as well. So this is the current status. So now how does it happen in going forward is we'll actually take up in our lesson, if you see, we'll be going Vibhakti or maybe Lakara by Lakara, and we'll learn all of them. So of course we'll come back here and see how much we have completed. Okay, and the next thing is we will not go study all the Vibhaktis in sequence. We will study based on the usage, or based on the basically we'll start from most used Vibhaktis at the first, and then we'll slowly go with the little complex or maybe less used Vibhaktis. Of course all the Vibhaktis are used in sentence formations, but very few are very we cannot actually avoid them in the sentences. We'll learn those things in the beginning, and slowly we'll learn other complex forms later. Okay, so in that way the lesson 8 which we are going to start, that actually talks about the Vibhakti called Shashti Vibhakti. Okay, we are actually jumping all Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami we are skipping, and we are directly going to Shashti Vibhakti, and we'll learn, and of course in appropriate levels in our Bhasha Pravesha level 1 the other Vibhaktis are actually introduced, and we have exercises for them as well. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video online. For any queries, or if you want to interact with other teachers and course students, ask the question in the forum .sanskrit.today, or you can also ask the question in the Telegram group, and subscribe to this channel Sanskrit.today to watch more videos like this. Share this video with your friends and interested people or group, and make use of the comment section below the video to ask to post any feedback or suggestions about this session or series, and click on the like button. Thank you for watching this video, and let us meet in the next session. Dhanyavadaha.